So yeah, do you guys have any tips on that? On how do we think more holistically in our compartmentalized brains?
You're looking at me. Do you want
I
me to
don't know.
start?
You
Well,
have
you know, this is my jam, really. Like, I mean, I think the way that society is set up now, everything that we're taught is compartmentalized, like you said. Like,
Mhm.
you are taught, you know, math, science, social studies. You know, doctors are sent to school and they're taught and specialized in one area, but realizing that the body is a whole unit and not, you know, parts throughout. And society now is, you know, running on 9 to 5, and if the cog doesn't run, then, you know, we might think that the world is going to crumble, and we want quick fixes. That's what we've been sold, is this pill is going to solve your issue, this thing is going to solve your issue, and that's it. And you don't have to put the work in, and you don't have to try and make change and be um a participant in your own well-being. And I don't know how much you've ever talked about like our story over the last like 8 years on your podcast.
With parts of our story.
Well, just the journey that we've been on, and seeing like, okay, well, we started out as entrepreneurs, but we worked 60 hours a week each, and we had a kid who didn't sleep, and we kept going and going and going and going on that rat race that I'm talking about, the 9 to 5. And I burnt out, and I didn't say anything for a long time, and I kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and the stress just became too much, you know, and I burnt out, probably ended up with autoimmune issues because of all of those things, you know, compromised gut health, not sleeping, being stressed out. And then it just pushed me into a complete wall, and I literally couldn't function. And so now, you know, it's only pushed me further to believe that the power, like that, I'm going to say the power behind these tools are so important. And we've changed our lives a lot in using these things, especially exercise. I mean, you use exercise. Most people probably don't know this, but I too have to do zone 2 work to, you know, but at the base of energy in our cells and all of those things is, you know, if I get the stress and in line and calm down, and I have sleep, and I have good nutrition, and I'm moving, we've seen an insane increase in my well-being over the last, you know, 3 years. It's just on an uphill like slope now, using all of these tools. And I think it's not about the quick fix. It's about maybe how we can undo some of the behaviors that we've been taught, and the tips and tricks. I mean, whew,
Yeah, I guess the one thing that comes to mind is
one thing at a time.
yeah,
But
and it's our responsibility to impart change. And Heather, I like what you said before. We have control over those things, and we probably spend too much time thinking about things that we cannot impact in any way, shape, or form, that are just what they are, and we have to just deal with them. And I think that's one of the most helpful quotes I've heard is, "Oh, what's your advice?" I forget what the advice was for. I'm butchering it, but it was essentially make a list of all the problems that you have, and then just erase all the ones that you have no control over, and then start acting on the ones that you do have control over.